Tell me when we're live, because I'll be looking, because I'm refreshing to see the.
All right. Maybe we're up now. Do you see anything, Nina?
No,
No?
it's just the. Oh, now we are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I see us. There
Okay.
might be a delay.
Okay. I don't
Hello,
know if
everyone. We have 6 people watching right now. No
okay.
people in chat. As you can see by the title, this is a drag me show. We're dragging 3 siblings,
Mhm.
and so that should be fun, not just for us and for the siblings, but for you as viewers, to see, similarities in siblings birth charts. And yeah, we're just gonna wait a little bit to see if we can make their presence known. We're running a little late because we were having lots of technical excuse me, difficulties. And I emailed everyone, and I'm not 100% sure that they remember that today is their Drive Me show. I just have kind of like a gut feeling, but hopefully my gut feeling is wrong. So we're just going to wait a little bit to see if they show up, if they make their presence known. If not, it is what it is, and we'll have to drag away.
But yeah, hi Kurt and also hi Fine Ceramics. It's nice to see you. It's sweet your mom commented.
Miss you too.
Um everyone's seeing a live video, right? Cuz I just got a text that they're not seeing a live video, but people
I'm
are
seeing.
definitely watching it, so I'm not sure. So yeah, we're just gonna wait until the siblings make themselves known. I guess. What time should we wait until, Nina? Like 10 more minutes?
I don't know. Do we have any announcements? We still have the Drag Me special
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
for September. If you buy a Drag Me in the month of September, you get $10 off. And, the whole pandemic situation is still very much alive and
Yeah.
happening. So since we've gone a real extended period of time not putting out any content for you guys, we have plans of starting a new series coming up, and we will be doing it in the safe, socially distant way. But yeah, you should be seeing a new Lilith series coming soon. That's some special tea, some special information for those of you guys who watch these lives. And yes, Shayna's hair is new and popping. The right says that she loves your hair, Shayna.
Oh, that's sweet. Um, so somebody said I didn't get a notification for this, so I guess it's just not notifying people, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear all the time that the notifications are either late or there.
As long as it's YouTube's fault and not my fault, we can just blame it on YouTube.
Me on my other account as a subscriber to this channel, I saw the video pop up.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. And if you haven't watched the intro, slide it to the beginning and watch it real quick because
Yeah,
it's cute.
and it's the reason why we're like 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
sorry. We literally tested this yesterday. We got it all working, and somehow still is. I don't know. It's still not working, but we got it with the headphones. So that's why this is happening. But yeah, I don't know. Are there any other announcements? We're excited to start filming again and start producing more content that's not live content and stuff. So yeah.
yeah, because we know that a lot of like you guys are the real ones, the people who watch these live streams.
Yeah.
Especially because all of our videos tend to be like ridiculously long, but
Mhm.
these streams are like never shorter than an hour, pretty much. Although next week we are doing an old school Drag Me,
Oh
a
yeah.
Drag Me show for one person, unless we like change some scheduling things around. But
Yeah. So if
pretty
you want to drag me, now's the time to order it. Honestly. because you
Yeah.
might just get your own show. Okay, um, but yeah.
I really hate to like say that my gut feeling is this, but I feel like they're not going to show up.
Yeah, we've honestly had a little bit of trouble with communication, and let's see, let's look at their energy and um. Oh, I was gonna say I feel like one of them might show up. I was looking at three charts, and I realized I was looking at two of their charts and one chart of somebody else, and that was the chart that I thought might show up. And I was like, oh wait. That's so funny. I don't even think we know. We know that they're three siblings, but I don't think we even know one of their names. Is that true?
Yes, because there's two sisters and a brother, and I think we're going to go in birth order. So first is Tabitha, and then Trista, and then Trista bought a reading for their brother, but we don't know their brother's name. So I'm not even sure if the brother is knows that this is going on. Maybe they just bought a drag me for him so that they could watch us drag him and just be.
That is so funny to like if you broke up with somebody, like if it was your ex and you like didn't like them and you just wanted to hear shit spewed about them, to just like secretly buy a drag me for your ex. I wonder if anybody's ever done that kind of thing before.
We did that before, but at the time that she purchased the drag me, it was for her boyfriend, and by the time that we filmed it, it was her ex.
Yeah, that was so funny. I remember she was like, gave me a lot of clarity. It was really sweet.
Yeah. It would have been nice to know, though. I mean, this isn't anyone's fault, but it would have been nice to know that she had broken up with him by the time that we filmed it, because then we could have like really gone ham, because we were like, just in case you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, like don't take this too seriously. And if we had known, it would be like one of those wine nights, pizza parties, like this guy's trash.
Yeah, and I remember like while we were doing it, I was like trying to edit myself a little bit and like try to be nice, even though I was like, these two are not the two for each other. I was like, I'll try to be
nice and like I think we should just get started. They can always watch this back. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Trista.
Which is the Libra?
Tabitha, we're doing it in birth order. So we're starting with the Libra. Okay, cool. If there's any, confusion. If I said wrong names, we're starting with the Libra, Taurus moon, Virgo rising. Okay. What here stands out to you first?
I'm pulling it up right now. Well, this is the first thing that I will, yeah, okay, wait, no, hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, let's see, we got a Virgo rising, Libra sun, Taurus moon. So this is like, I feel like this is a very charming person with a Virgo Venus, and then that Libra, like lots of Taurus energy, and then like that Scorpio Taurus, like not, I guess like charming isn't the right word, because it's not as innocent as that, like charming is like the Libra thing, but with everything else you're like charming, but I feel like there's always a different motive. Like Virgo and Scorpio, when you have like those, because you have a Virgo rising, you got a Virgo Venus, you got some major planets in Scorpio, those combinations always make somebody so much more sneaky, and I'm a little bit always like
So much more deceitful, you said?
Yeah, like sneaky and deceitful, or just like their motives. I find like Virgo, Scorpio people have odd motives for things, and I'm always a little bit skeptic.
So usually, you have the stereotype of Libras of being just like so kind and like sugarcoating things even to make everybody happy, but that Mercury conjunct Mars, that's a tight conjunction. Your Mars is right on top of your Mercury. Both in Scorpio, I feel like you're much more brutal than a lot of Libras. With that, like you have some like, especially with that Virgo Venus, your Virgo Venus is conjunct your ascendant, but it is technically in the, oh, sorry, wrong. I'm wrong. It is in your first house and it is right conjunct your ascendant. So I feel like you have this push and pull of like this angel on your shoulder and this devil on your shoulder. But they also are not just on your shoulder, they are speaking directly outwardly to people. Like you want to be very likable and kind and whatnot, but you know how to cut deep into someone. We were even talking about, we were talking about in our last live show, our Q&A, like someone asked what the meanest sign is, and we said, Scorpio has the potential to be the meanest, and that Mercury in Scorpio conjunct Mars in Scorpio, I feel like when it comes to your opinions or when it comes to talking to people, that's where you don't sugarcoat things. That's when you're like, no, it is what it is. And plus, you've got that Venus in Virgo, and Venus in Virgo is known to just not have any bullshit when it comes to the way that they communicate with their partner. Like, listen, I need you to have a 401k. Listen, I need you to eat a certain way, exercise regularly, do these things, like very high expectations and not very, lenient with those expectations, almost like kind of strict.
Yeah, I feel like just in general you maybe had a lot of luck in your life. I feel like your family, just in general, when I was looking at these charts, definitely money is a big thing that kind of runs the stream of the three charts. Like I was like, this is definitely a financially comfortable family in some way, and I feel like that was like super drilled into you. Like you need guys need to make money and blah blah blah. And but then you have this like Taurus ninth house moon versus this like second house stuff where like your second house stuff is all about like going after it and working and doing these things, and then your ninth house Taurus moon is like, I kind of just want it to come to me. I kind of expect things to come and I just want to not have to do anything. And I feel like you honestly do get a lot of luck. What are the aspects?
There's
But
Jupiter in the second house, so that's just like a big indication. Your Jupiter and your Sun are in the second house, so that speaks to like a really elevated sense of self-worth and not a lot of like problems as far as like when it comes to money, like a lot of luck when it comes to money. Your Sun and Moon are in Venus ruled signs. So you say that you were born at 4 a.m. exactly, and your moon is actually at 29 degrees Taurus. So if you're at all wrong about your birth time, you could be a Gemini moon, but we'll assume that you just were born at 4 a.m. exactly. Crazier things have happened.
I was born 4 p.m. exactly. And I feel like that double Venusian thing is very much in line with your family, like with the rest of the siblings and the vibe that I get.
Yes, for sure.
Um, Oh, I was gonna say, okay, so back to this Taurus moon in the ninth house. It just wants everything to come to you, and you want this is like an extravagant, luxurious life. You know what I mean? But then you have it square your Saturn in the sixth house, and I feel like what gets you more than anything is just the fact that you have to do things. Saturn's in your sixth house. You're always having health issues, or there's just a lot of stuff that you need to do every day, and you never want to do it, and it's fucking exhausting. Maybe you're somebody who it's like well, you are Virgo rising. And so maybe like people give you a lot of responsibility and you like want to take it on because you're like, I just Saturn in sixth house, like I have to, like I was taught from my family to like do things and stay busy. And then you're like Moon in Taurus is just like not wanting to get around to it and is like, but like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like ninth house, like I took a trip last week to this country and it's just been so hard on me, and
I think it's really interesting that you are, of all of your siblings, you were born in a different country. Both of your other two siblings were born in Illinois, and you're the oldest sibling, and you were born in Germany. And you have your South Node in Sagittarius, or you have your South Node in the ninth house. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your South Node in the ninth house, and then you have your Moon in the ninth house. So there is like you can flat out say that you're more cultured than your siblings.
That's true. That is so funny. That does make a lot of sense with that ninth house moon. Um, Let me see. And yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you moved. I feel like you're probably, well, this is more of a chart reading, but with your Pluto in the third house, I'm assuming you didn't like where you moved after it. I feel like you probably feel much more of a connection to maybe
Yeah, your
Germany or
north node's in the third house, so you better start getting along with your siblings now because that's your purpose in life.
I actually, oh my God, I'm just realizing I worked for a Libra Sun Taurus Moon, and I feel like yeah, it's just such an awkward combination. I feel like with a Virgo rising because Libra Sun Taurus Moon is like very chill. Like they just kind of wanted to do whatever the other person wants to do, and it doesn't really matter. It's like hey, if you want to do it this way, you want to do it this way, whatever. But then you have this Virgo rising, which always knows how you want to do it and has things a specific way. And if somebody doesn't do it, you're like, how could you do it? So I feel like you're constantly like bouncing back and forth between like trying to be this chill person, and in some ways you are chill, and like I feel like only maybe your siblings know kind of how to properly like this is the things that you're chill with and these are the things that you're not. I feel like something like that where yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Also, you and your sister both have Saturn retrograde, and your brother has a really strong Saturn with it being in the 10th house, despite it being in Pisces. So I think that your dad likes, or at least has the highest expectations for your brother. And he didn't really like show up so much for the girls.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um Let me see here. What else? Let me see. I'll drag Venus and Virgo specifically. I was actually just having like a talk with somebody with Venus and Virgo that like doesn't really know much about astrology either, and I was talking about how like he literally said this. He was like he was like, yeah, when I'm in a relationship, I'm watering them. I'm watering the plants. And he's very Virgo-y, so he doesn't talk in these like hoo-ha things. It's like the only time he said something like this. It's like, I'm like watering the plant, and if it doesn't grow fast enough, I'm like, why don't you grow fast enough? And like, that's totally the vibe. You're like, I'm the Virgo, and he's like, I'm being so nice to you, I'm doing all these things. And you're like, when it gets upset, it's like, why aren't you working right?
I feel like a Virgo Venus in the first house with a Virgo rising is kind of like your classic Blair Waldorf Gossip Girl kind of
Oh
vibe.
my God. Oh,
Like,
what's her name?
I am so perfect and beautiful.
Jeanette Coolidge or what's that girl's name? You know the main girl that plays the mom in the Cinderella story, the Hilary Duff one? Jennifer
Oh, yeah.
Coolidge?
I don't know what her name is, but she's like everywhere as like the same kind of character.
That's the vibe that I feel like you put off. And I know she's a Virgo rising, and I feel like you're that kind of Virgo rising. You know what I mean?
The mom Cinderella story?
Well, like not for like how who the character is, but like the actress herself, like the roles that she plays. She always plays those kind of roles. Like I always see her in something that's like, you know.
Okay. Huh.
um, Let me see what else do you have here. Sun and Libra in the second house. I mean, just like the most basic drag is like that's a superficial ass sun. Like you have superficial wants, and your ego really gets fulfilled by superficial things. Like you are like the master at making yourself feel better by retail therapy. Like what's any way to cope with things? There's no other way. It's retail therapy. You know.
Yeah, you also, for like the most part, have very positive house placements as far as like where your energy is distributed. You have so much in the second house and then two planets in the fifth house. You have your Venus in the first house. Um, Even like it just says to me that you are just like, you've kind of had like an easy life. um your Pluto in the third house, maybe you bullied your siblings and your siblings like always fought, or you were like a school bully, or you're always or you were bullied in school.
I feel like it's like psychological bullying though, because it's
Yes,
all in Scorpio. So
sure.
it's not just like, man, blah. It's literally just like getting into your mind, getting into their minds.
For sure, but you have like a really elevated sense of like self-worth, not just from that Venus in the first house, Sun in the second house, but also that Uranus and Neptune in the fifth house. When you see planets like that in the fifth house, they're both malefic planets, but in the fifth house, they're just like speaking to your sense of creative expression and your confidence when it comes to creative expression, or your confidence in yourself in general. And like those planets got attention and this kind of total free range to express themselves. So it's kind of like the best place that you can have Uranus and Neptune, in my opinion, is the fifth house. Like they're not really fucking with you all that much. And of the malefic planets to have in your fifth house, they're the ones that mess with you the least. Like Pluto in the fifth house is not going to give, is going to be a damper. Saturn in the fifth house is going to be a damper. Your Saturn is in the sixth house, so that's a big damper, but everyone has malefic planets somewhere.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, your biggest, I think, issue is your Saturn in your sixth house. Like, that is a legitimately shitty placement that I want absolutely nothing to do with. And how cliche of you is it that your issue is daddy issues? Like, your biggest issue is your Saturn in your sixth house. It's just so, like, classic to the, like, I'm a girl. I don't know how else to say.
For Saturn, that's also tough. Your Saturn is just like what's messing up. Venus square midheaven. That's interesting because like you are so beautiful and so charming, and you are so likable, and your sense of self-worth is so elevated, but you can't, make a career out of it. Like, that you're kind of like your talent is in your expression of beauty and how like charming and everything you are, but that's not what you can make a career out of. That's what Venus square midheaven sometimes says.
Yeah, I also feel like you just be like, you should be way more popular on social media than you are. I feel like that's how you feel. Like you're having a lot, like you have all these Venusian things, you have all this stuff, you have all these things, and like you just like can't translate it or something, Also, so you have like issues with your dad, but I feel like your issues with your mom are a lot different. Like I feel like you have this like insanely intense connection to your mom, maybe, but I don't know, maybe not, because with Moon in the ninth house, there's usually like a disconnect or something, but with Moon opposite Pluto, there's usually this weird thing that like holds you together. Like it literally feels like it's the string of the opposition, like holding you guys together for better or for worse or something.
But then there's also that Moon square Saturn, where I feel like with that Moon in Taurus in the ninth house is just like you are your own life raft. And you
Oh,
are the oldest sibling
that's
out of
true.
three. And I feel like when you're the oldest sibling in any like amount of children, but especially when it's like three or more, you are kind of the one who is the most on your own, the most responsible for the others, and the least parented. Um, so I feel like you are your own life raft, especially with that Virgo rising. First children tend to have a lot of Virgo energy, actually, in my experience, because they are the ones that need to be the most responsible in the family.
That makes sense. Um, oh, what was I? Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say, okay, I was gonna be like, I don't understand why you like me. Like, I was like, I feel like you like Nina more than you like me. But then I was thinking about your Mercury and Mars again, and I was like, she likes that I talk shit, though. It, like, fulfills that part of her that,
Yeah.
like, she wants to, like, pretend is not there and, like, doesn't get to, like, always, like, what's indulge in, right? Because you're trying to be this like Libra Taurus person, but in reality, you're like drag them all, tell them all how terrible they
Yeah,
are.
I have the opposite opinion. I thought like she's here for Shaina for that aggressive speech because I can really, obviously we're doing a drag me, and I can really drag. I can really, be mean and tear people apart in our videos. But if I'm on my own, there's no way that I'm going to talk like that. On my own channel, I'm always like, it's so gentle and blah, blah, blah. But like Shaina brings it out of me. I think it has to do with astrocartography, like because Shayna was born in Vegas and my astrocartography in Vegas is like you're a bitch.
That's so funny. I won't take you to Vegas. No, I'm kidding. You wouldn't want to be there. I don't even want to. Okay. What was I? I was gonna say something earlier, but I forgot. what I was talking about. Anyways, let me see here if there's any like specific individualistic placements. I was gonna do because you're talking about Neptune and Uranus in the fifth house, which I agree. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, for these two malefics to be somewhere, this is a pretty good place. But I feel like as much as like we like it because we're like, I don't know, creative people, we're very much like be weird, be you, be this, be that. You don't want to be this, you know. You have squares to your sun. Your sun is squaring your Neptune and your Uranus. So I feel like you don't like you want to dress in a way that's very appealing to everyone. Like you have Capricorn in the fifth house, you want to dress in a very professional way. Libra sun in the second house, like you know, just in general, you want to appear very.
Virgo rising.
Virgo rising, yeah, you want to appear very like neutrally likable in that way. And I feel like your Uranus and Neptune in there, it's just like you're upset at it. You're like, I don't want to be chaotic. I don't want to be as like whatever you create is a lot maybe a little bit more weird for your friends, or there's something a bit different about it that you feel a bit insecure about. And also with, I'm going to drag specifically Sun square Neptune because I was talking shit on Neptune squares yesterday actually, to like Sun and Moon. And oh my god, the ability to just believe whatever the fuck you want is insane. And not only that, but I feel like Neptune and Uranus also has like, because Uranus has that like cult kind of like bring you all in aspect, like it can have that aspect to it, that with this conjunction, Neptune and Uranus conjunct square your sun, you not only like believe crazy things, but you like bring in other people to believe them. You know what I mean? Like you want other people to come and believe your crazy ideas. And I feel like definitely, wait, is this is, who's this? This is Tabitha, or is this
This is Tabitha.
This is Tabitha? Then I'm fucking right. Okay, because I was going to say, I bet you're the one that liked astrology first, and you wrangled in your siblings and was like, come, let me show you this. And I feel like what Nina says is right. Like, your brother doesn't even know that he got this because he doesn't want it, because you want it, you know? And I feel like, yeah, like, you're the older sibling, you're like, trying to take care of them, trying to show them the way, you know?
I'm really having a hard time, like, figuring out what you might do for work. Because you've got so much energy in the second house, but then you've got and your chart ruler is square your midheaven. Your midheaven's in Gemini. And like, I get the feeling that if we were in the 1950s or something where like it wasn't mainstream for women to have careers, your career would be to be the town gossip. Like that would be your job, to be just the busybody. And with that Mars conjunct Mercury in Scorpio, your job would just be to talk shit.
But maybe that's what you... Yeah, like maybe some celebrity gossip thing, some pop culture thing or something like that. And that would make sense with that Gemini midheaven, that like that gossipy midheaven squaring your Virgo Venus. You know, your Virgo Venus is like, let's do something structured, or like, let's not make jokes here, you know? But then your Gemini is like, I gotta make jokes, I gotta be funny, I gotta, you know, make things light, you know? But in reality, you're just like, I'm just a critical ass bitch, and that's why I'm here, you know? That's why I'm doing this shit. Yeah, but that actually my sound is not on, but that is the that actually just the timer just went off. So that is Tabitha's first drag, and we haven't seen either of them. They're
I know.
Still not around.
But you can watch it back.
Yes.
And let's get right into Trista.
Yeah, let me just pull it up really quick. Somebody asked how we can get a reading or like get a drag or get their chart done. It's down below. We're selling them currently. It's a drag. It's projectastrology.com/shop. Just because someone asked.
And we have a Drag Me special going on in September.
Yes, we do. So now's the time to snatch it up. Okay, so now we're doing 1996.
1990.
Oh, no. God, why do I keep doing that? That's wrong. Sorry. 1994 is what we're doing.
Now. I know exactly how to start this drag. Middle child, only one with an interception.
I was going to say, I was like, where's this middle child energy coming in? That makes sense. What is it? Oh, Pisces Virgo.
Is Pisces Virgo, interesting.
An
Um,
intercepted retrograde. Oh my god. So your father's favorite is the brother. Second favorite is Tabitha just cuz she does her own shit. And then third favorite is you. um but yeah, also Pisces Virgo interception makes sense because you're the middle child, so it's just like what do you have double of? Double Taurus Scorpio? Yeah, so instead of doing your chores, you just didn't, you know?
or
um
like no one looks out for the middle child.
yeah.
Like we're giving Tabitha all of this praise for like being the responsible one who takes care of the siblings, but like in reality it's taking care of your little brother. You didn't have anyone doing you any favors, and you were always like given this lecture to just like do things yourself, take care of yourself, no one's gonna take care of you, and you've got to look out for number one. That's like, it's total survival mode being that middle child of like, I've got to be the one, like I've got to look out for myself. This is kind of like totally irrelevant, but the thing with me and my brother is that we would whenever we went out to eat at this Mexican restaurant where they like would bring out hot tortillas instead of, you know, bread, like in a lot of restaurants. My brother like knew where the waiters picked up the tortillas, and so he would just bring us free tortilla, like more than we were allowed to have. Essentially, he would always just take the tortillas from where the waiters would pick them up because it was like right next to one of those tortilla makers. And my brother eats so fast, and I don't like to eat fast, but I felt like I had to eat fast in order for me to get any tortillas. And I feel like that's just your middle child syndrome of like, I need to, that Leo taking over the house that Virgo's intercepted in, like, I need to take care of myself, I need to stand up for myself, no one's gonna do it for me. And plus that double Taurus is like this feeling of like clinging, this extra sense of needing security, this extra need to be safe and have things stay the same. It's
Oh,
just that like, I no one's going to be looking out for me, and I need to make sure that I am taken care of.
yeah, that made me think like cuz Tabitha has that ninth house Taurus moon. Oh my god, born somewhere else and getting to travel. And you have a intercepted ninth house with Chiron there. You got Saturn in your third house. Like you missed the fuck out on the traveling. You did not get to go to all these places. You did not get to see other anything else, and you are bitter about it. And it can feel like you like have such a want to travel and you feel so connected to other places. Like you know, you got that Leo in the ninth house. You're like, I feel like I find my identity through this stuff, but my god, I never get to do it. And I feel like you guys all collectively don't like Illinois or like wherever you guys grew up with your childhood life. Like she's got Pluto in the Tabitha's got Pluto in the third house. You got Saturn in there. Like y'all are like, we did not ask for this.
What I like about you and seeing where like you and your sister are sisters is this 11th house Scorpio energy. Because the thing with people that have their 11th house in Scorpio, it's just this, when you are friends with an 11th house in Scorpio, you're like, there's something about this person, I can tell them anything. I don't feel like I need to censor myself at all. I don't feel like I am being judged, that my opinions are too harsh or not harsh enough. Like I just feel listened to and able to be completely vulnerable with this person. So I feel like you're your sister's favorite person for her to let out her Mercury in Scorpio conjunct Mars and just be like really nasty in her
Yeah.
opinions.
Yeah, you guys got some major Scorpio Libra going on within your family. So I feel like there's a lot of hiding things under the rug, but that rug is disgusting. That rug is like goes
So
down three
dirty,
stories, and you guys like
so
sneaking in there.
dusty.
So what?
It's just a dirty, dusty rug.
Yeah, yeah, for real. And oh yeah, what I was gonna say is I feel like what you can do best that your sister can't do is the internet. Like you know we were talking about that Venus square midheaven thing, and I feel like with all your shit, like you got to sleep in midheaven, you have all these 10th house and 11th house stuff, like you internet, like that's where you find your ego and yourself, and like that's where you don't have to be a middle child. You know what I mean? And I find that like a lot of times with people with like stuff concentrated in the last quadrant, like you don't really get to it early in life. You know, you're kind of getting to get to it later in life. So I feel like that really makes sense. Again, like when you were growing up, you just felt like this probably very odd connection to money that also the rest of your family doesn't feel, or something like that. And just like this, I don't know, I just feel like you were always like, I am ready to get out of here, you know?
Yeah, I want to talk about your Mars because it's tough. It's in Leo in the eighth house. Um,
With Ceres conjuncted, that's not a good way to be nurtured.
I just feel like that is you being someone who to fight for yourself. Because again, this is a theme in your chart of like, I've got to fight for me. I've got to stand up for me. And your family's just like, shut up. Stop fighting for yourself. It's not gonna, we're not gonna listen to you. It's not gonna make a difference no matter how much you yell or scream. We're just lock that away and you're just like so
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah, because it's trying your Sagittarius ascendant. So you're like, I see injustice and I stand up for it and I will always speak it and do this and that. Like, I feel like you're much more like you want to do a lot more charity work with your money, or like put it towards that stuff than like Tabitha does. Like Tabitha is like, I'm here to earn my coin. I'm here to make it good for my family. I'm here to grow up on the ladder. And you're like, oh, but we need to disperse it and we need to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry. Like you're just,
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, you're just a lot less connected to it than I feel like your sister definitely is.
Yeah, because you have plenty of 11th house energy,
Yeah. And in
including your
Scorpio in there?
North node in the 11th house, which that's like a big theme with all of your Leo energy of I got to stand up for myself. I got to make sure that I'm taken care of. And your path in life is to be able to integrate into an ensemble and appreciate teamwork and give to others. Then you've got this interesting thing with your third house is not doing so hot. It's got that intercepted Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And that just, you did not have a good time in school, especially with Aquarius ruling that third house. Like school was not a good time for you at all. And you could have been labeled as slow or just like didn't in the school environment. But then you've got that Mercury in the 10th house. So your intelligence does play a big role in your status and your public persona and your career now. And it's in Libra and your moon is there. So I feel like you're doing something both intellectual and also something that speaks to your heart and probably has to do with giving to other people, because that's a nurturing combination. That moon in Libra, 10th house Libra, and moon in the 10th house, of just wanting to use your career to benefit other people, plus that 11th house stuff.
I'm going to do more of a drag on your 10th house because
That was too nice.
no, it wasn't. We were going back and forth here. But just because I fucking hate your midheaven. You have all this Libra stuff on your midheaven, and I think that's honestly quickly become my least favorite place for a bunch of Libra stuff, because it's just like, just say what you think, you know what I mean? And you are just so conscious that everything that you say, like you're like Tabitha says some shit and she comes and she says some shit to private in you, and maybe you're able to spill, like, you know, you can talk shit then, but you would never even think about saying anything that would hurt yourself socially. You know, like you're just, also it's like anything that you do at your work is not going to be at all daring. Like you're going to keep it as likable, as cloudy, as fluffy, as generic, as middle of the road as possible. You're like, we do not need to bend any corners here, which is so opposite to all the stuff that's talking to your 11th house, all the stuff that's talking to your Sagittarius, your Sagittarius rising is very much like, I'm going to fucking say what I want. So I feel like this is just really, I feel like it's definitely something where you're Tabitha had her like no. Your financials affected Tabitha a lot as far as like that's what she found from her family. Like it's like all about the money and how to get that. Whereas you were more influenced by status. You know, you're like the status of my family is what's important and me gaining that status and me not having some sort of fall from grace and keeping it up. And I feel like financials are something that you've always had because you've got that like Lilith in Taurus, and so that part of you is there to indulge in that. But the rest of you isn't really like that. The rest of you is much more status based, I feel like. And so I feel like also maybe your Mars is in the 8th house also because it's like whenever you get upset, you can't say anything because you got to keep this like Libra likable presence in front of you, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, in front of you.
I think also the combination of a Sagittarius ascendant with a Libra midheaven just creates the most charming people. Jude Law has this, and he is like, even though he's like old and crusty now, like he's no talented Mr. Ripley Jude Law anymore. And you're like, oh God, that was my childhood crush. That's what he looks like now. And then you watch him in an interview and you're like, oh my God, he's still so charming. I don't know what's going on here, but that's that kind of combination of just such charming people, this combination.
I almost realized I said Libra Sun. I meant Libra Moon. I was thinking Libra Moon, but I think I said Sun. That's my fault. I know that's what you have in there.
I think we also have touched on this, but with again, Tabitha was born in another country and has that moon in the 9th house, and you hold your interception in the 9th house. You came around in your parents' life probably when all that traveling stuff was over. Now they're like about, settling down into the home, and you're probably so jealous because you never got this opportunity to experience the culture that pretty much everyone else in your family got to until you came around.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
I honestly, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I feel like I would love to drag your dad's chart. I feel like I would not like your guys' dad. I feel like he is totally like, I don't know, just with all of that, just with all the energies you guys have, I feel like he is like just got to be the most classic like Capricorn absent father that like enforced gender rules and was like, I make money and I don't care and I'm corporate and business and da 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 da, like, and I just feel like you guys both have like issues with your Uranus and Neptune, so I feel like you guys can definitely feel that you're like of a different generation than your father and like and of your mother too. And that shows in like a very negative way maybe throughout your family, like as much as you're like, I really like the status and I like what my dad has done with his life, blah 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 blah, you guys are also just like, we are too things have changed, we're too unconventional now to go on that same path at the same end.
Also, 4th house in Aries. That sucks.
Oh yeah, that does suck. You definitely got yeah.
You got the worst 4th house of your siblings.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and like a really troubled Mars. Like as much as like Tabitha's Mars is in Scorpio in the 2nd house, like she shows that it's more extroverted as much as Scorpio is an introverted placement, like, but you have this like Mars and Leo in the 8th house and this Aries 4th house, like you are not allowed to engage in anger. I feel like Tabitha was the one that she was the oldest, so she was always the one that got to like say this, say that, and you were always just like stewing and around it, and you're just always around all this like energy. And that makes sense why Pluto is in your 12th house, because then you lock away all of that anger and all that stuff that's been around you and just pretend it's not there, and you pretend that you don't have the stuff, and then your psyche gets fucked up, and it's so much fun.
So much fun. Plus you're a Scorpio sun. That's traumatic enough.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Here's some sun sign astrology for you. Scorpio suns have a hard time. Plus your sun is square your Mars. Your Mars in the Scorpio house. Oh, so much poor anger and rough times.
You must go to therapy. I feel like you're the child in the family, or you don't because you're the most time you're forgotten about, but you should go to therapy. Maybe when you finally get out on your own, you'll be like, hey, wait, I need this.
There's 2 ways to say that sentence. It's either you must go to therapy or you must go to therapy. You must. Venus square Mars too. Damn, these Mars aspects.
Yeah, there's just a lot of nasty anger energy around you guys growing up. Um, Let me see here. Yeah, oh my God, definitely also you're the one that's like nobody trusts you with finances. Like everybody thinks that you're going to be the one that's going to fuck it up and like you don't feel like that's true. Like you have Capricorn in the second house. You're like, "I do my best, you guys. I'm really trying to stay on it and I'm really trying to do what I can." But in reality you're like, "I just whoops. I whooped, and I whooped again, and I didn't mean to, and I spent money or something like that. You just you're definitely the worst with it, and people make like I've realized with Neptune in the second house, like people make you feel bad about it too, and like whatever house you have Neptune in, you're always trying to like unclear the fog from constantly. So I find that sometimes you can actually like know more about what's in your know more about the house that you have Neptune in because you're always trying and working so hard to unclear the fog. So in your mind, you may be like, "I'm working so hard. I'm really trying to like categorize. I got this Capricorn, blah, blah, blah." But no matter how responsible you are, everybody is like, "Don't trust her with your money." And you're like,
Did your parents like financially favor Tabitha more? Like, did you find out that there was like some she was secretly like getting a more allowance, or that they were like giving her money when you weren't getting that same amount of money? Did they like pay her way through college, and then when you wanted to go through college they're like, "Oh, sorry, we already paid for Tabitha to go to college"?
I feel like that
Like,
could definitely be it, specifically college too, with that intercepted ninth house, but Leo in there. Like, you want to go off to school, and Tabitha had this great, like, crazy experience. Well, it's not great because it is poorly aspected, but she still had an experience, and you just didn't. It could be maybe like, I don't know why I keep on saying that. I feel like your family might have had a fall from grace, but I just feel like maybe they did. And, like, maybe by the time that you got to that age, like, you had the money when Tabitha was that age, but now you don't, something like that.
yeah, because her second house is so good
It
and yours
is.
is so messed up. But
Yeah.
you have more 10th house energy, and you don't have any bad aspects to your midheaven either. So I feel like maybe your family did go through a fall from grace, and then you got the benefit of learning better on how to work hard and kind of make something of yourself, and like
Yeah.
that
I
kind of, you know, self self starter energy was given to
yeah. Yes, I totally think that maybe Tabitha is literally just wanting to grow up and be like a sugar mama, not sugar mom, what is it called when you're a sugar baby? Is that what it
sugar
is?
baby.
Like a sugar baby vibe. And you're very much like, no, like 10th, 11th house stuff. I'm gonna make it about my views. I'm gonna make it about what I do. I'm gonna get this status because of this reason and da 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 da, you know. And everybody's
Yeah.
like, why are you going the hard way? And you're like,
Why do you do?
because I want to.
But you're also like, why am I doing this the hard way?
Yeah.
No one's helping me out. Plus, that intercepted Pisces is a connotation because Pisces is so about, boundaryless and being one with the world, and just kind of like seeing yourself as a part of like the bigger picture of the universe. To have Pisces interception, especially because Aquarius is taking over the house that Pisces is intercepted in, you much more have this attitude of like, it's me against the world. And that shows up again in the Virgo side of that interception, where Leo is taking over and it's like, this is about me. I'm not here to help anyone else because no one else is here to help me. It's me, 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 me. And then Aquarius, me against the world, especially in school. Probably like you did not fit into school, and you had a hard time in school, potentially like academically and socially. And you're just like, you really have this attitude of this middle sibling attitude where it is you against the world and you have to be a self-starter.
Yeah, yeah, and I definitely feel like you with that intercept third hand ninth. I was like, you're not satisfied with where you moved to, but then if you did go and visit wherever you're from, you feel like you still would feel a little bit of a disconnection from there too. Just in general, there's just like a disconnection, like not. I feel like with third and ninth house, as much as it's not about being rooted, it's all about being all over the place. But I think that there is when you don't have it, you feel even more like you're just floating. I feel like that's a real middle child thing, just like floating through life.
Yeah.
Not that you don't want to take action, like you have these very action oriented things, but I'm sure whenever you do take action, everybody's like, hey, your Mars is squaring everything. We don't want that. We don't want that action. We want
Yeah,
this action.
it's just all up to you, because people are going to try to repress the kind of action that you take, or going to try to repress your expressions of things.
Yes. So okay, so that was the end of yours, but I'm sure
We'll still be talking about
we'll
you
still
as
be
we
back.
move on to your
Oh my
brother.
god, instant baby vibes. Cancer rising, instant younger child baby vibes. I'm so cute. Like, I just bat my eyes and, like, I get what I want. Like, that's my first impression. I haven't even looked at your full chart. I'm so sorry.
Also,
Um,
I totally misspoke. Your this brother, you brother, we don't know your name. You also have an interception. So Tabitha was the only one who got away without
oh my
having it.
god, you have a Taurus Scorpion reception. That is being shielded. You were 100% like, there's so much shit going on in your family. Like, there's so much questionable stuff, but they shielded you from it. Like, they didn't let Trista's the middle child. They didn't let Trista express it back to them, but they sure showed it to her. They kept it hidden from you. Like, you grew up thinking like this is a perfect, pristine little family and nothing's wrong and la 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 la. And and like that's your like little kid privilege, I feel like.
Yeah, you also you have the same house placements as Shaina, because you have the same doubles and same interceptions.
You do, you do. I feel like I definitely give all child vibes. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I give um
Um,
But okay. So let's see here. Pisces Virgo combo. That is annoying to deal with, honestly. That's an opposition that like I really like people with oppositions. I have obviously major opposition to my chart and I like them people like, yeah, it's two sides in people, but this one I just will never understand, and I feel like you will never understand it. Although because you're that Virgo moon, you always are like, I understand it. This makes sense. I make sense. This is like duh. But in reality, everybody says like, no, it's not duh, because you're a Pisces sun, and you may say, I'm gonna do this at 9 o'clock, and you're gonna be annoying about it, and text the person and be like, 9 o'clock, yeah, you're gonna be there on the dot. I'm gonna make you go through all these hoops to get this thing, and then 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock comes, you're asleep, you're not showing up, you make the person wait outside for 15 minutes, you have to put on your clothes, maybe jerk off one time, and then you finally go downstairs and meet them at 10. Like, bitch, I'm done. No.
this is the tough. Well, Sun Moon oppositions always tough, but this is a tough one. This is a toughie. This one's not so
Did
good.
your parents like? I feel like your parents did not get along, and that shows. I feel like also like in Tabitha's chart, she's got some like Moon Saturn stuff too.
Yeah.
But I feel like they stayed together, and I feel like maybe, or maybe they didn't stay together, and that's why you guys have weird third house stuff. Well, your third house? You were definitely like the token good child in school, like Tabitha was the popular one, and she got along because she had dates and she always had friends and she was always nice and cool. And then Trista just got along because nobody's paying attention to her, so she just had to, even though she was completely just drowning. They don't care because they've got this other child that's doing wonderful in school. That's just a little genius. That's just a little kiss up genius, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. You left school. Moon and Virgo in the third house. Like this
Ruled
almost
by
says to
Leo. Like,
maybe your mom even like worked at school,
mm,
or like your mom was a kind of teacher or something. Oh, ruled by Leo. Yeah, totally. And your first and second house is where your doubles are spread out in. So like those are areas in your life that you feel more comfortable in, because they're ruled by signs that you by a sign that you feel more comfortable in, because you have more energy in that sign. So you had a better time in school because of that. You had a good time in the third house, or in your community, in your neighborhood. Um,
you also have a negative aspect to your moon and Pluto, and I know that Tabitha has it too. Um, does Trista have anything? No, but I feel like also there's something weird with like as much as we've been talking shit about your dad, like I feel like he's just like a classic dad, and it show. Oh my god, yeah, Saturn in your 10th house, total corporate status ladder guy. But I feel like your mom was also had her own issues. Like I feel like she just maybe was I find like with negative moon Pluto aspects, it might be something where like your mom was just having so much trouble with herself, like internally, maybe mentally, emotionally, that she unfortunately like, she just didn't have time for you, or you guys had to take care of her instead, maybe. Maybe something like that.
so what I also see is, wait, I was going to say something something else. Oh yeah. No, let's move on to something else, and then I'll circle back to that. Sorry, this is a little insight into how my brain works. So your dad just really, really wanted a son. No one has three kids and two girls and then a boy because they were wanting another girl. You know,
Yeah. You have a beautifully aspected Saturn too. Like, oh my god.
your dad really, really wanted a son in that classic sun because you have that Saturn in the 10th house and you have your Pisces sun conjunct your midheaven. But your midheaven is strong because it's got Saturn and it's got your sun there, but it's all in Pisces. Your dad would have been really happy if that all would have been in Capricorn. Like, I feel like that's what he wanted. And then he got this Cancer rising sun, and you have this fifth house interception. To have a fifth house interception means that you're less than confident in your own talents, in your own, like, talents, like skill, amazingness.
You feel like when if you have like a fifth house, it's like innately you're talented, innately you're like you're valid, and you get to express those things. If your fifth house is intercepted, you just feel like there's not, you whatever for whatever reason they're not good enough until you work really hard on them, which I think is talking a lot to that Saturn in the 10th house.
Exactly, you got that Saturn in the 10th house and Sun conjunct midheaven, so it's like you're not innately talented. You have to work really, really hard, and everything that you are is based on what kind of status you can achieve. And you've got this Cancer rising, which is not a place that, a father who always wanted a son. It's not the rising that your dad wanted you to have.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was gonna say I feel like your father sees himself as so much more put together and like what more Capricorn than he is, like Nina kind of mentioned. But in reality, like you guys see him going to work every day, you guys see him doing all this stuff, but in reality when you look closer he's really chaotic and really confused doing it. He probably just got really lucky because like Pisces is co-ruled by Jupiter, so I feel like he might have just kind of stumbled into something really good, and maybe that's why you guys moved or something like that initially.
Yeah, maybe he stumbled into something really lucky, or maybe like he was just struggling all the while.
Yeah.
Like he was struggling all the while, and he probably like wants you to have that like perfect rise to the top.
Right, it was a little bit messy. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like compensating for what you've got. Plus, you have Jupiter in Capricorn. So, with that, and then your fifth house interception, there's another thing of like you not feeling like you're endowed with a lot of natural luck or a lot of natural talent, even.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and I was reading something. Somebody mentioned something about Jupiter and Capricorn that I think is so true. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but it relates a lot to your intercepted fifth house and stuff. I think in your Saturn in the 10th house, but Jupiter and Capricorn can also be like your family around you, or the people that are around you, had almost like too much faith that you were good at everything that you did, and that's not necessarily true. Like they didn't want to accept that you weren't the best at everything, and I think that kind of mentality shows also in Tabitha's chart with Venus square midheaven, that like they definitely had the mentality of like, I can do anything. Not really, but you guys should be able to do anything within first try. And I feel like too much praise for subpar, not subpar work, but yeah, for subpar things, and then you not feeling like it's good enough, but you still getting that expectation put on you.
Yeah, because Jupiter in Capricorn is kind of an indication that giving is not something that comes naturally to you. And that a lot of times is because you weren't given to, like you didn't receive a lot. And so there's not this kind of natural sense of generosity. And if someone thinks that like you are totally capable and innately talented and can do whatever you want first try because they believe in you so much, then they're not going to lend a helping hand. And so it kind of develops this sort of attitude of like never having gotten a helping hand and therefore not having a naturally generous kind of a base of generosity to act from.
I want to move on to Lilith and Cancer in a second, but the first thing I want to say before that is I really hope that you guys all watch this back, and I hope that you watch the whole thing, because I feel like this will give so much validation to Tabitha and Trista being like, we knew knew that our dad parented you more, and we're there, like, you know what I mean? Like, we knew that he parented us differently, and he didn't believe it. Like, I feel like it's definitely like that vibe, and you're like, but he's so hard on me, and da da da.
Yeah.
And you're like, but you don't even, at least he's there. You know what I mean? But okay, I want to drag Cancer Rising and Lilith and Cancer right on fucking conjunct your first house, because what I said about littlest child, batty eyes, makes it even more prominent when Lilith is there. Like, Lilith in Cancer is just like, has this amazing ability to make, like, Lilith in Cancer really usually does, you say that the person is probably just a very good person in general, because, you know, Lilith is the bad side of us, and when it's in Cancer, it's really, it's not too malicious. And so these really usually are very good people. But what Lilith and Cancer does so well is, like, they use the fact that they know that they are much a very good person at heart, and they can use that against you. And, like, you just have this amazing ability of making everybody feel so bad for you whenever they do anything the slightest wrong to you. You know what I mean? In any way they hurt you. Because, like, Cancer Rising can already do that. Cancer Rising already has, and I know I'm talking a lot about Cancer Rising. I'm Cancer Rising, okay. Okay. Cancer Rising has a great ability to, you know, do little puppy dog eyes and be like, oh my god, it hurts, and da 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 da. But, like, you know that, and you've always been so aware of that, and then you use that, and everybody, like, nobody wants to do anything mean to you because you just make them feel so bad for it. And then you have, like, this Mars and Pisces, which is, like, always distorting what's going on. Like, you guys have very weird relationships to Neptune. Like, there's some very disillusioned people in your family, okay? And you are great at using that disillusionment as manipulation tactic to get what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe even saw how, hold on. Yes, like, your Neptune is in your 7th house. You probably saw how delusional your whole family was, and was like, and you have some of that in you as well, but you don't realize it, I feel like. But you more than likely use that to, like, distort what really happened, and then tell the truth, like, tell your truth, which is not the truth. It can be, maybe. To you it is, because, you know, you convince yourself of those lies, but just your ability to get what you want is insane. That's my conclusion.
We've talked a lot about money when it comes to your sisters, and something that's interesting to me is that you hold your doubles between your 2nd and your 3rd house. And that often says that the people around you, either your community, your school, your neighborhood, your siblings, really support your sense of self-worth. They can even be responsible for you making money, or you make money with your siblings, or you make money with your friends in your community. Like an old school lemonade stand situation. That's where you first thrived, getting the gang together to make a lemonade stand. And you don't have any planets in the 2nd house. You only have Leo plus this double Leo energy between the 2nd and the 3rd house. And with just Leo in there, I feel like you might even, like, use people to fulfill your sense of, like, that Leo in the 2nd house, egotistical sense of self-worth. Leo in the 2nd house, I have this, so I'm especially allowed to drag it, just wants to make money from being great. And when you have the 3rd house also speaking to that, it's like, hey, we're gonna make a lemonade stand, and you guys are gonna make all of the work, and I'm gonna be the face of the lemonade stand. And everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, your lemonade stand is so great. This is your lemonade stand? Oh my god, the lemonade tastes delicious. And you're like, yes, this is my lemonade stand. Does that make sense?
And also with that Virgo moon in there, it's not only just your lemonade stand, it's your lemonade stand because you're the only one that could do it right. Because you did it the best, and none of these other fucking dumbasses could figure out how to do it. So yeah, of course you're going to take credit for it because you did it. You figured, these people are nothing without you, you know?
Virgo moon in the 3rd house, in the Leo ruling the 3rd house, bossiest person ever.
Insane.
Oh my god, so insanely bossy.
Like, you are just, I feel like, the epitome of, like, the youngest child. Like, I feel like I don't know, I'm only saying this because I've watched Malcolm in the Middle recently, but, like, Dewey, like, definitely you guys are not that family, but if that family was in your like, if I'm trying to say, like, if it was like, if the status of their family was different, you're totally like this cute little dewy type, and you're even this Pisces, so you also get yourself into these ridiculous situations too. I feel like you just find yourself in them, and yeah, I don't know. Dewey isn't a Virgo moon, obviously, but the cuteness little thing, you know?
I also think like with that Cancer rising, you're the baby of the family, and this Leo second house and third house. It's like you would just cry your eyes out if ever like you something like wasn't fair between you and your siblings. You just cry your eyes out, and your family are like, "Come on, Trista, Tabitha, give him the good cookie." There's like give him the bigger slice of cake. Like, come on, just give it to him. Just do it for him. He's the youngest. He's the baby, and you're just like little manipulative Lilith in the first house. Like, my tears worked, and I'm getting my siblings to strengthen my sense of self-worth. I am the Leo in the second house king.
Yeah, you even have Pisces Virgo major in your chart, which Trista has none of. So you were the one taking care of, like, Pisces and Virgo is the two different ways that like somebody could really take care of you. And in a way, like Virgo, they do things for you. They make sure you have everything. Your lunch was packed. Trista's lunch was never packed. Tabitha's lunch, she packed herself, you know? And then like with the Pisces, like your emotions were always validated. Like, yes, yes, yes. Whereas like I feel like with that Scorpio sun and that Libra sun, like Libra sun, no. Like Tabitha, emotion, like your ego is not validated. Like Trista, it was just like manipulated all the time in a way. Like every time you think it would be validated, it was like, wow, it's not validated. They're actually trying to do so, or get something out of me, or do this or do that. But you were like, yeah, you just learned so quick what Nina said. Tears equals getting what I want, 100%. And
Yeah, sorry, go.
No, that's all.
Tabitha's the Virgo rising, so she was packing your lunch, I think. And then Trista was like, "Who's gonna pack my lunch?"
Yeah, I have no way. I don't. There's no food left.
I gotta take for myself. No one's gonna take care of me.
Yeah, so that's why you have that double Taurus. You just bought a bunch of snacks at school. You know. Also, what was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like it makes so much sense that that Tabitha got the reading for you guys first of all, but even so more that it's your family, because there's some like questionable stuff going on. There's some shady stuff. Like you guys are very, I feel like, shady to each other, and so I feel like you want to expose each other and like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's totally the vibe.
Yeah, you didn't get each other like beginner readings, advanced readings. You got each other drag me's.
Mm-hmm.
And you said live, like you're okay with having this all aired out, all of your dirty laundry aired out.
Yeah, it makes so much sense that like Trista kind of knows what's going on. She's like interested because she's like, oh, I get to hear about myself, and this is so nice of her, and blah blah blah. Even though I don't know probably much about astrology, but I don't know the brother's name, but this brother was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm not even gonna make myself know. Like you did this for me. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't really care. Like I feel like maybe you didn't even tell him or blah 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 blah. I just feel like
these are just all of our conspiracy theories into how this Drag Me show came to be.
I know we're so into it, but okay, wait, let me see if there's anything else that I want to drag. Yeah, I feel like it's just so funny how much you did, like this brother did not get that toxicity. Cause like Uranus is, or 8th house is an Aquarius with Uranus in there. Like that's a major detachment from all that other shit that you guys are dealing with all the time. Maybe even like it feels like you guys got passed down this like generational trauma stuff that like he just seems unaffected by or something like that.
Yeah, and also like you're an island, brother, because you have so much of this individualistic nature.
Yeah, Venus and Aries in the 10th house, like my God. Yeah.
I feel like your whole, or no, your Venus and Aries is just barely in the 10th house. Yeah, it's not even in the 11th house. And plus, there's an individualistic nature to having Aries ruling the 11th house, especially with Taurus intercepted in there. There's a real stinginess. And your North Node is in Libra, and your Venus is individualistic. You have this like 10th house energy. I feel like you're one of those people who is like, I can't have a relationship because I'm married to my career. I'm married to myself even.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have a really hard time just like even giving yourself up into a relationship.
Yeah, I have super similar energies. Like my Juno is in Aries in the 10th house. I have the same 5th house. I have a similar 7th house. I have a similar 8th house. Like, and I feel like if I was a guy, I'd be somehow so much more toxic. And like, not saying that I'm like, I'm such a good person, I'm not toxic, but like, it would just be like that much worse. I don't know. And I also, what was I gonna say? I feel like, your like thing, everybody has like their thing in the family that they feel hurt about. Like Tabitha is like just the oldest child, and she always has to put on this beautiful, prissy, proper thing that can get exhausting, right? Trista's forgotten about. And I feel like you are just tired from working so hard. Like as much as you like get so much from your family and like in so many ways, like you're obviously in the luckiest position. I feel like where you're complaining all the time is like, yeah, but you guys don't fucking do the work that I do. You guys don't know how much time I spend just like making myself the image of the best child for the family. You know what I mean? Like I feel like maybe as much as like when you were little it was like great, but now you're like, ugh, I have this Saturn in the 10th house. I'm like, I have this Virgo moon to deal with, you know?
No, yeah, I feel like you're like they're like you always got it so easy. You got everyone's attention. Everyone waited on you hand and foot, and you're like, but there's so much responsibility. Like they have such high expectations of me because they love me so much. They don't love you guys as much, so you don't have to deal with such high expectations. You don't understand how hard it
Yeah,
is.
and Trista's like, listen, the one thing that I did was smart was not put my expectations up at that level that you did. Listen, I might not get all this stuff or this and that, but I can do my own shit. I can fucking live my own life. Like, you get to go out with friends all the time. Trista probably has way more friends than the brother does. You know, he's probably so much more of a loner.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm married to myself. I'm married to my career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, but that was the end of the brothers reading. So that's the end of your three readings. I hope you guys have listened and watched this. If you have, let us know. I'm so curious.
Yes. Um, and yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your purchase and your patience, you guys, sibling fam, for your purchase and your patience with these readings.
Yeah, and honestly,
And,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it was really fun to do these siblings and stuff. Like, if you have a family of siblings, do it 'cause
Yeah,
it's fun.
I would love to do more family readings.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting, see, and like getting to know the information because sometimes it's like just getting to automatically know like this is the oldest child and their siblings. Like
Yeah.
it's just so much more meat to roast, you know? um,
Not that we condone roasting meat.
oh no, no,
Only
beyond
eat it
me,
raw. No,
beyond
just
me.
kidding.
um, but yeah, so that's the end. And again, if you guys want a drag me reading, they're linked down below. PartyTrickAstrology.com/shop. We're having a special. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be back next Thursday with another Drag Me.
Mm-hmm.
And stay tuned for also our new Lilith series coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually not in charge today.
Yeah.
I was called and I didn't set up anything, and feels good for a change. So Shaina's now in charge of ending the live stream.
Yeah, so we have a little outro, so stay until the end of that because it's super cute. But yeah, we're going to say bye.
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 I want to watch the end.